Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another Rick and Morty review. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Season 3, Episode 9, The ABCs of Beth. Now, there's kind of been this upheaval recently, in the past week. It's all Dan Harmon's fault. I don't blame him for it, I understand why he did it. But about the fandom, right? And how much the fandom sucks. And I kind of want to give my 2 cents on it. So, if you don't care about it, skip ahead. I'll put a time code, skip ahead. But yeah, I'm gonna just do something off the cuff, a little unscripted, uncaring, like I always do. And because I kind of feels like it pertains to this episode, but we'll get back to that. So, the fandom. It's a bunch of jackasses. Oh my god, they're so goddamn pretentious. I hadn't really interacted with the Rick and Morty fandom until I want to say Pickle Rick came out. But they're just so goddamn pretentious. They think, oh, Rick and Morty is a smart, nerdy show, so you have to be a smart nerd to get it. If you're not, you won't get it. All the smart jokes fly completely over your head. If you don't like the show, you're a fucking idiot. Right? And again, this is only the vocal minority. But the problem is the vocal minority still speaks for the entire fandom, whether the fandom likes it or not. That's how this shit works. And I freaking hate the vocal minority. Because they're just so goddamn pretentious. They see Rick and Morty as this king of science, this king of pop culture nerdom. So they hold it to such a high standard. And they're just fucking assholes about it. And they're so goddamn pretentious, talking about how great they are. And if you don't like the show, you're an idiot, right? The other one is the sexism. So for season 3, they hired on a bunch of female writers, right? Because there's not many female writers working in this type of show, right? In sci-fi. So they hired on a bunch. Nice initiative. And of course, people have backlashed. I actually saw this firsthand. I remember right after Pickle Rick came out, everybody loved it. Written by a female writer, at least that's the one who was credited. People loved it, right? The first time I ever interacted with the fandom. The following week, however, The Vindicators 3 came out. I really like that I really liked that episode, and I was kind of like, did other people like it? So I checked in on the fandom, right? In a few places, both times. And people were kind of negative on it, and a lot of the blame was coming from the fact that they had hired female writers. That's what the fandom was blaming, and I'm like, fuck off. And that was the last time I've interacted with the fandom, right? I was in it one week, out the next. So yeah, I've seen it, right? Them complaining about the female writers, how they're ruining the show. Even though this season, I haven't been too super positive, but I've still enjoyed it. There isn't a bad episode this season, so they're just fucking full of shit. I hate them. I don't like, fandoms are something that I can't, if you're going to go into a show, avoid the fandom. I understand there are some good people in there, but the vocal minority is just such a pain in the ass. And they're just some of the worst people. And there's one more thing, but we'll get to that because it actually does involve in the episode. But let's get into the episode. So it starts off, this guy has been sentenced to the death penalty for eating his child. And Beth used to know this kid, right? And she's like, oh, I took him to Fruity Land once, right? And then we find out that Fruity Land is real, right? It's this real, she calls it a chicken coop, but it's this place Rick created where all these magical creatures live, right? And it's this happy little wonderland, right? The floors are all bouncy, the water you can breathe in. It's kind of like to enter it reminds me of a Chalk Zone, but once they're in it, I guess it reminds me of like Dragon Tale or something. That was the name of that show, right? But then they're in there for like a minute. And then Rick gets attacked by this, like, bird-looking thing that's... Because everything's supposed to be cute and nice, right? Like Muppet characters. But this bird has, like, razor-sharp claws, and it has teeth on its beak, and it's got, like, these weird fleshy parts. So Rick loses his arm, kills a bunch of these birds, gets a robot arm, And this bird is like a combination of human DNA and the Fruppyland DNA, which they realize that what's going on is Tommy's been in here this entire time, and he's had sex with the Fruppyland creatures, creating hybrids that he's then been eating. Like, holy shit. This kind of feels like one of those things where they're kind of stretching the boundary to see what they can get away with. Because it's like, oh, Fruppyland, happy little colorful place, right? Oh, look at all these happy little colors. But it's just so fucked up because they're incestual cannibals. Like, holy shit. But they can get away with it, right? Because, yeah, it's all fun, right? Or at least, some people, because it's just so fucked up. But no, it's just another Rick and Morty thing for some people. Here I am talking about how pretentious the fandom is, and yet something like this will probably fly over some people's heads about how truly fucked up this is. But they see this little play about how, Beth pushed Tommy into the honey swamp and just left him here to die. Yeah. So Rick gets them out of there, right? They leave the adventure. And Beth wants to go back and save him, and Rick's like, no, this isn't a real adventure. I have nothing to gain, plus Morty's not even here. Which, that hasn't stopped him before, because this is our Beth Rick episode, which is 3 seasons in, and 1 episode before the finale we're finally getting. Okay, at least it happened, right? But we find out, basically when Beth was a kid, right, the whole Fruppyland was created to keep other children safe, right? Because she's a sociopath. And she had Rick create all these gadgets for her that like tracking stickers, a mind control clip, and just a bunch of other fucked up shit, and rainbow duct tape for some reason. Yeah, okay. But yeah, Beth is a sociopath. Which, yeah, I mean, in the next scene, right, she comes in to get Tommy out, right, take him away because this world has ruined him, right, and his father's about to die, and she can't apologize for pushing him into the honey swamp, because even though Rick is like, yeah, that totally happened, she doesn't think it happened, even though everyone else is telling her, yeah, it probably did, so she realizes she's just like Rick, which isn't that something we've seen before, Beth being like Rick? I know she's compared herself to Rick in Whirly Durly, but yeah, she basically just murders a bunch of these Fruppyland creatures. I'm pretty sure she definitely kills Tommy. But yeah, she's just like Rick, right? This is her realization. So she comes back to Rick covered in blood and asks him to clone Tommy, right? So they do it, they clone him, the father is saved, right? Because he didn't eat his son, right? There's a song? This doo-doo in my butt? What the hell was that? Is this gonna be another chart topper like Terry Folds? This better not be. But, okay, back on subject. So there's this scene, right? Really good. I don't want to recount it, okay? Because I'm going to screw it up. I have a horrible memory, so I'm going to screw up recounting the scene. I'm going to forget some important detail. Just go watch it. It's really good. Right? If you wanted to see an example of me screwing this up, go check out Pickle Rick. God, did I screw that one up. But the most important thing to take away from this is Beth realizing that Rick isn't her hero, right? That, she's always tried to be just like Rick, because Rick is her father. But Rick isn't a good guy, right? You shouldn't want to be like Rick. And that's the other problem with the fandom. They think of Rick as a hero, Rick is he's a villain, right? He's tragic, because even in this scene, he can't identify, is this me being human? Is this me loving you? Is this just that I care so little that it's coming around, right? Going full circle. Rick is tragic. He's like, Walter White from Breaking Bad. He's not somebody, he's not a hero. You shouldn't be rooting for him. He's the villain. But no, people see Rick as this hero, as this someone you should inspire to be, and that's where they fuck up. That's not what Rick should be. Rick should not be your hero. He's tragic in a way, right? But basically, Rick gives Beth this out where, oh, she can leave forever if she wanted to, and everything will just continue fine here. And Beth realizes, oh, what she wants to do. They never say it. I'm assuming it's go back to the kids, but the first time I saw it, something kind of felt off. Oh. Oh, yeah, the B-plot. So, Jerry dates this alien girl, Kiara. She's a she's some warrior priestess, right? They're dating, they're soul bonding, right? Everything's going really fast. Jerry's kind of racist, kind of sexist. They go on this hunt. They kill the way she acts reminds me of a predator, but these aliens they fight look like predators, right? With the whole mouth. But eventually Jerry realizes that, oh yeah, he's got to break up with her. So Summer's like, oh, you got to admit you're a sexist, racist, beta male idiot, or, well, a beta male sexist, right? So he does, and eventually he tries to break up with her, and she doesn't accept it because Jerry's such a spineless weakling. He couldn't do it, and instead blaming it on the kids. Summer almost dies. He eventually breaks up with her, and then realizes that because she's a rebound girl after Beth, and Jerry may also be a rebound guy for her. It's all kind of complicated. That's the B-plot. It's not important at all. It's not the worst B-plot I've ever seen, but it's definitely not that good. And yeah, we get this ending scene. It felt a little off the first time I saw it. The second time, I guess it worked a little better. And yeah, the third time, whatever. But, right, I'm pretty sure she's staying, right? That's what they're saying at this end. And then we get the end credit scene of the message where basically Kiara's boyfriend goes to kill Jerry. Rick kills the boyfriend and then has sex with Kiara. Okay, that's funny, I guess, because it's a Rick thing. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good episode. It's not, I wouldn't, I don't know if it'd make any, like, top 10 list for a C or anything, but it's still a fine, enjoyable episode, right? But yeah, with that all being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, until the season finale, peace.